Ever look at those massive channels pulling in millions of views with AI and wonder, why is almost everyone else stuck at absolute zero? Well, I can tell you right now, it is not luck. And it's definitely not some magic viral button you just press. There's actually a highly specific, professional workflow driving these massive success stories. And today, we are going to completely reverse engineer it. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the viral AI blueprint. We're going to take you all the way from a totally blank script right through to a captivating screen presence. And quickly, the insights mapping out this entire workflow were produced by AAGHAZ Ai. He's an educator as well as an AI agents and automation builder for educators, traders, and startups, based out of Karachi, Pakistan. All right, so here is our lesson journey. We've got 4 main steps: scripted traction, visual prompts, audio generation, and finally, the final polish. Let's get right into it. Reverse engineering success, the benchmark model. So to really understand this, we need to look at top-tier channels, like NasDaily's AI School. They actually did a 100-day challenge posting purely AI-generated content, and they built a massive audience incredibly fast, with individual creations hitting up to 5.3 million views. But here's the secret to that success, and it comes down to the number 3. See, you might think these top-tier AI channels are just run by solo creators hammering away at a single prompt. No way. In reality, there is a highly structured workflow that essentially uses a core team of 3 directors managing clips, audio, and edits. Listen, even if you are a solo creator, you have got to adopt this multi-director mindset if you want to compete. Step 1. Scripting the perfect hook. If you want to replicate this kind of success without starting completely from scratch, here's what you do. Use LLM voice modes, think ChatGPT or Claude, to extract transcripts directly from viral content. This lets you analyze exactly what makes their pacing and their storytelling tick. Take a look at this opening quote from a highly successful script. Now, those first 3 to 10 seconds, they are absolutely critical. If your hook doesn't instantly stop the scroll right there, it doesn't matter how good the rest of your story is, because nobody is going to stick around to see it. Your visual and audio elements have to align perfectly right out of the gate to deliver that initial punch. Moving on to step 2, crafting realistic visuals. Look, we just cannot rely on basic, generic text-to-video prompts anymore if we want professional, high-retention results. The visuals have to be highly intentional. So here are your rapid-fire rules for AI visual generation. First, you need to generate at least 3 variations for every single line of your script. Never settle for that very first output. Second, hyper-focus your creative energy on that 5-second hook we just talked about. And third, use image-to-video techniques to maintain visual consistency. You really have to act as the creative director here, constantly testing and picking only the absolute best variations. Now, this next part is a real game changer. Notice this stark comparison here. A lot of generic AI prompts spit out this overly saturated golden lighting look that just feels, well, incredibly fake. To get that documentary-style realism, you've got to use specific keywords in your prompts. Try things like raw iPhone shot, natural colors, and no color grading. It makes the footage look incredibly authentic, which instantly builds trust with your viewer. And if your story involves a specific person, you absolutely need character consistency. Here's the exact workflow for that. 1. Generate a high-quality base photo, say a South Asian man in his mid-20s. 2. Lock in those visual details. And 3. Animate that specific base frame using an image-to-video tool. This ensures your character doesn't wildly morph into a totally different person every time the scene changes. Step 3 and 4. Audio and the final polish. High-quality visuals are essential, for sure, but pristine audio and dynamic pacing, that is going to account for at least 50% of your final impact. One critical retention booster you need to know about is speed ramping. Imagine you're showing a drone shot flying from a dry desert straight into the lush Amazon rainforest. By dynamically accelerating the video speed during the transition and then decelerating right on the reveal, you create this cinematic flow that literally glues audiences to the screen. When you get to the final assembly, which is usually done in editing software like CapCut, you've got to run through this checklist. First, use tools like 11 Labs for professional, cloned voiceovers. Next, generate custom sound effects. I'm talking about things like the distinct crunch of footsteps in dry sand. That is what breathes actual life into static clips. And finally, adjust and match the color saturation across all your clips so it actually feels like one cohesive narrative instead of just a random compilation. The crucial takeaway is really captured right here. There are endless possibilities. You can create complete stories or ads. It's time to build your first AI agent. Whether you're a professional crafting corporate presentations, a business owner making high-converting ads, or a student sharing what you know, this workflow completely eliminates the need for an expensive film crew. The barrier to entry has completely vanished. Which brings us to the end of this explainer. You now have the professional blueprint, literally from script extraction all the way down to the final color polish. The tools are waiting. So, what story will your first AI agent tell the world? It's time to get out there and start creating.